we are going to start our new topic, and that is elimination reaction. So in some of the sessions we have discussed what is called substitution reaction. So substitution reaction is not the new, that is a kind of replacement, kind of displacement, or kind of exchange of two different functional groups with the new incoming nucleophile. So एक की जगह पे दूसरा आ जाता है, that is called substitution. So as you can see on your screen, today we will be discussing a new reaction, what is called elimination. So elimination, this is adjective of the verb to eliminate, means to remove, to knock out, or to make something out from the reaction. So that is called to eliminate. And from to eliminate, this verb has there, and that is called this elimination reaction. So this we are going to study. So all the topics, all the contents is available on this book, Paula P.Y. Bruce, that is Organic Chemistry, 6th edition, and chapter number 9. So what is called elimination? So we step by step we shall go through this. The difference between substitution and elimination is that in substitution, if we have certain nucleophile such as X, so in this case, X will be replaced with this incoming nucleophile. So X की जगह पे Y आ जाएगा and Y की जगह पे X. So this is called substitution, just like we have discussed in our last sessions. Another is this elimination reaction. So elimination reaction is totally opposite to substitution, in which there shall be elimination of halogen. Not only that, but also the adjacent carbon will lose the hydrogen. And once this adjacent carbon will lose the hydrogen, then it will form HX, and or it may form HY and X minus. So the products are formed. These are totally different in case of substitution to that of the elimination. In case of substitution, the product form is a substituted product, and in case of elimination, the product form is something called this double bond containing alkene or olefin. So alkenes or the olefins are the product of elimination reaction, and for substitution it is always different. Okay, so this majorly I wish to tell to you people regarding your difference between substitution and elimination. So now, just like substitution reaction, so substitution reaction is divided in two categories. One is called SN1 and other is called SN2. So similarly, elimination is also of two types of reaction. One of them is called as E1, other is called as E2. And there is more or less analogy between this SN1, E1, SN2, E2. So first, if we understand this E1, E2, then we will be able to give the due justice to this topic. So these are the contents we have to study in E2 reaction and mechanism, kinetics, stereochemistry, regioselectivity, substrate structure, base, living groups, and the solvents. What happens in E2 reaction? What kind of substrates are there? What kind of nucleophile, products, and the solvents? So that we will be studying in this session. Here we have this proton. I mean to say we have this alkyl halide, RX. And this time it is tertiary butyl bromide. Another name of the same substance is 2-bromo-2-methyl bromide. And the nucleophile is OH minus. So once we have this OH minus and this tertiary butyl bromide, then the adjacent carbon may lose the proton and this halogen. So there will be formation of water, Er minus, as well as the alkene. Very soon we will also jump to the reaction mechanism of this as well. So in this case, hydroxide act as not only nucleophile, but also it act as a base. So that will abstract the proton from either this CH3 left hand side or right hand side CH3 methyl groups, and it will form this water. So that for E2 reaction, nucleophile plays the dual role. What is called this? I mean to say, it will act as base as well as it shall act as the nucleophile. There's a difference between nucleophile and the base. Nucleophile means having philicity towards the positive charge. That is the definition of nucleophile. Base means a substance which is going to abstract the proton, and that may react with some acidic character. So that majorly we wish to study about this. Okay, so hydroxide will act as a nucleophile in this reaction because of the bulky tertiary halide. Rather than hydroxide will act as a base and abstracts the product. So in this case, it will more predominant towards the basic character and less predominant will be towards the nucleophilic character. So it will act as more as the base and less as the nucleophile. So the next slide is what is the reaction mechanism. For E2 reaction, just like SN2, all the steps were simultaneous. Simultaneous attack of the nucleophile and simultaneous departure of the living group. एक साइड से अटैक करता है, दूसरा दूसरी साइड से लीव होता है. So here it is also the same case. Here base will abstract the proton. This bond in between the carbon and hydrogen shall move towards the 2 carbon, and the bromine will depart in the form of ER. So thus it will lead to the formation of this. So point we wish to share that this is basically alpha carbon and this is basically a beta carbon. So here the base kind of alkene is formed. So thus E2 reaction is also called as beta elimination. Why? Because from beta carbon, from this carbon, beta elimination, because beta carbon is going to lose the proton. That's why it is called beta elimination. Because from beta carbon, proton is removed by this basic character. Okay. So it is said, just like we have discussed in our previous session of substitution, the weaker base, the batteries, means base, just if we have stronger iodide group, then it is a good living group because it is a weaker base. If we have fluoride, HF minus, so which is a good electronegative agent as well, because of it is good electronegativity. So that shall act as this poor living group. Okay, so that's why weaker is the base, the better is its living group. So this is the relative reactivity of alkyl halide in E2 reaction. So, and this order is as same as that of the SN2. It is not different, it is the same. RI followed by RBr followed by RCl, and list reactivity is observed with RF. So that majorly is seen in this case. Removal of a proton and a halide ion is called as dehydrohalogenation. तो तीसरा नाम आ गया E2 reaction. E2 is elimination by molecular reaction, elimination by molecular reaction. Beta elimination दूसरा नाम है elimination reaction. तीसरा नाम, third name, We can call it as dehydro this halogenation, because we are removing the hydrogens, we are removing these halides. So that's why this term is dehydrohalogenation. So these are the major concerns which we can have it with this. Once OH minus is removed, then we can have this alkene. Right? So proton is removed, a double bond is formed, and Br minus is eliminated. So all these three steps, these will occur simultaneously in a synchronized manner. ગુજરાતીમાં કહીએ તો ત્રણેય reaction એક સાથે જ થાય છે. That's why this is called in a synchronized manner, in a synchronized fashion. Okay, so this reaction is termed as dehydrohalogenation. Now, for this reaction, the rate of the reaction is dependent upon the concentration of alkyl halide as well as concentration of the base. So it is dependent upon the concentration of both the species. Friends, here the rate of the reaction is generally termed as second order reaction, because here is a power 1. For base, it is also a power 1, but if you sum up 1 plus 1, it will become 2. That's why this is second order reaction. I hope that I am able to make you clear about this kinetics mechanism of elimination by molecular reaction. The next is the case of stereochemistry. That how stereochemistry is different for elimination by molecular reaction. If you remember SN2, then you will come to know that in SN2 there was something called Walden inversion. If a substitution which is having already a asymmetric center or already somehow chiral center, then upon modification it will convert to the exactly opposite configuration. We also visited the term called umbrella inversion. For E2, what kind of this will be? Although let me tell you, for E2, the product is alkene. And for alkene, we don't have capital R, capital S, dextro, levo. But alkenes will have a geometrical isomerism, what we used to call as cis trans, or capital E, capital Z. So this isomerism basically we can have depending upon if the same substitutions are attached on the same side of carbon-carbon double bond. It may be called as cis, such as if two hydrogens on same side, it is cis. If two hydrogens on opposite side, it will be termed as trans. Okay, so or if the four substitutions are different, then we have to give the priority 1, 2, 3, and 1, 1 on same side, then it is called Z. If 1, 1 the same to the least priorities on the opposite sides, it is called as E. So this stereochemistry is that. So what is the stereochemistry of elimination reaction? You know very well for the alkenes that if we have cis compound and trans compound, naturally trans compound will be more stable, compound with less amount of energy because of least steric hindrance. Least steric hindrance will be there in the trans compounds, and stronger, or we can call a high amount of sterical hindrance shall be there in cis configuration, or we can call it as Z configuration. So that's why trans or E, capital E isomers are termed as more stable compounds. Okay, so here stereochemistry of E2 reaction can be studied with the help of this example, where we are showing two kinds of structure. One of the conformation is called as periplanar in cis periplanar. Other conformation is called as anti-periplanar. बेसिकली ये जो बीच में सर्कल है और फिर जो लाइंस ड्रॉ किया है ना, that is nothing but something called Newman projection. We already visited these conformations in our previous sessions. So these Newman conformations is for the two carbons which are adjacent to each other. If these two carbons are having same kind of this configuration, just like it is called, you can assume that this is a front carbon, and this carbon is a back carbon, and which is termed as a rear carbon. So front carbon and this, if they are exactly aligned or likewise this, then it is called syn periplanar conformation. That conformation is nothing but this, where front carbon is this one which is attached to the hydrogen and the rear carbon is attached to the halogen. Okay, जो थोड़ा halogen उसको है ना tilt करके रखा है so that we can visualize in this. Then here we have another this one, where the front carbon is having the hydrogen and this is the rear carbon which is attached with the halogen. But this time it is exactly opposite. Likewise, one is at the top, other is at the bottom. So if you observe like this, although so it will be like my hand is there, so you will not be able to observe properly. Maybe this is the orientation that these two carbons, when they are connected through a single bond, one will be at the top, other will be at the bottom. And this you will observe here, anti-periplanar configuration. So two conformations are there, syn periplanar and anti-periplanar. Now out of these two conformations, anti-periplanar conformation or staggered conformation is considered as a highly preferable conformation for elimination reaction. Now I can discuss with you why this anti-periplanar conformation is more stable or more preferred for elimination reaction. So assume a classroom which is having a door on this side and other door at back side on the same side. The teacher is entering in the classroom, so there is a risk that if a student do not want to enter the teacher's class in two doors on the same side, then teacher will immediately catch the student, that why the student has left the class, will caught him immediately. So syn periplanar conformation is like that, where teacher ka entry or student ka exit, dono are on same side. So this is not preferable one. For example, teacher is entering in this way, and the one door is there in this room or cabin, other door is that side. So what will happen? Teacher will enter from this side and student will leave from that class before the starting of the classes. So lecture ma bunk maro છે. So if this is the orientation, that entry of the teacher and students exit are totally opposite, and it is for easier for the students to bunk the class. But just I am discussing that. So that is exactly preferred in elimination reaction. The teacher will enter from one side and the student will leave opposite at the opposite end from the opposite side. Here teacher is entering from one side, but at the other end entering in from one side, but at the other end these students are living on the same side. So this is not preferable. Why? Because here there is a spherical hindrance between this H and X. Here there is nothing a kind of spherical hindrance. Because of this, elimination. Anti-pluriplanar conformation is a more preferred one. Staggered conformation is a highly preferable than eclipse conformer or syncpluriplanar conformer. Syncpluriplanar नाम इसलिए दिया है because when we are discussing about two different planes, then if they exist on the same side, it is called syn. If we are discussing two different planes of two carbons and they are on opposite side to each other, then it is termed as anti-periplanar. Okay, so friends, that's why anti-elimination is highly preferred over syn elimination. This is another view, but this time it is shown not considering this Newman projection. This time it is using this wire formula, also called as Endiron formula. So we can see from here that the base will attack from the top side. This hydrogen will make carbon-carbon double bond upon his departure, and this X will leave. Okay, so both hydrogen and halogens are on same side. But look at to this one, the backside approach. This was the front side approach called syn elimination. Here it is called anti-elimination. Do not pronounce as anti-elimination. It is anti-elimination. So here, this base will attack. Hydrogen is at the bottom side. Both are on opposite to each other, right? So hydrogen base will abstract the proton from the top side. Hydrogen will leave, will make a carbon-carbon double bond, and halogen shed. So there are two approaches: front side attack and the back side attack. So in this case, this backside attack, anti-elimination approach is more important because of the repulsion of this base and electron rich. And same way, if our somehow reaction is there in a cyclic compounds, then these are axial groups which are there. So axial groups means which are around the axis. So these axial groups of cyclohexane will prefer to depart over these equatorial positions. This way, this elimination of cyclic compounds is there. Okay? So this is observed not only for acyclic compounds, but also for the cyclic compounds. Look at this one. If we have this H and Cl, both of them are equatorial, then it is possible that this will go under some isomerization. Axial bond will become equatorial, equatorial bond will become axial. So this is what actually happens in isomerization of cyclohexane. So then this OH minus will leave and it will make this double bond. Because here this H and X will depart in this cyclohexane. Okay, thus this way the elimination of cyclic reaction is possible. Okay, so I'm going to skip a few slides so that I can discuss with you further importance of this. Now, after this significant amount of elimination, reaction, and discussion, we found that this is basically second order reaction, where the rate of the reaction is dependent upon the concentration of alkyl halide and the base. So that's why it is second order reaction. Maybe it is, let us say, a kind of bimolecular reaction as well, because we require the concentration of base as well as we require the concentration of alkyl halide. Then this reaction, which is will prefer anti-elimination or over syncpluriplanar elimination or anti-pluriplanar elimination, is essential for this. Maybe this syncpluriplanar is not the desired configuration to give us. So Now we are going for elimination of 2-bromopentane. Why? Because this is a specific example which will give us two types of isomers. Upon the elimination of this 5-membered or 5-carbon containing alkene, 5-carbon containing alkane, if this halogen and hydrogen are departed, provided both of them are empty, then we shall have this E isomer as well as Z isomer. CH3 or CH3 will be on same side. Here it is on, this is on opposite side, this is on same side. So this both hydrogens are one list priorities on opposite side, so it is called as E. If both hydrogens on same side, it is called as Z. So E isomer is considered as a more stable one, and Z isomer will be considered as a least stable one. Right? So the alkene with the bulkiest group away from each other, that will be less stable. So this way the stereochemistry of E2 reaction is explained. You can see that methyl groups and ethyl groups, when are apart from each other, then there is stability in a molecule. This is basically two-dimensional structures, and these are the three-dimensional, we can call is somehow kind of molecular electrostatic charges or potential surfaces, or three-dimensional structure of the molecule. So friends, if this bulky ethyl group and bulky methyl groups are there, then they will cause steric clash. Okay, so that's why E and Z will, and we know that E isomer is considered as a more stable one over the Z isomer. So this was a kind of selectivity behavior in the reaction. Organic chemistry, we know there are 4 types of reactions. Similarly, there are 2 or 3 types of selectivity. So what are these selectivity? These terms are something called regioselectivity. This is number 1. Second is called chemoselectivity, number 2. Number 3, that is called stereoselectivity. उसमें भी 2 टाइप है. Something called enantioselectivity, diastereoselectivity. Okay, so there are 4 types of this selectivity for any reaction. This, or if it is stereoselective, regioselective, enantioselective, diastereoselective reaction. We're not going to discuss only stereoselectivity, which we have seen previously, such as E isomer was there, Z isomer was also there. But the reaction predominantly favor the formation of E isomer. That is what called that is what called stereoselectivity. A reaction which will end up in a 2 isomer, but preferably 1 isomer is formed, 1 enantiomer is formed, then it is termed as stereoselective reaction. If 1 isomer is formed over other stereoisomer, so that is called stereoselectivity. Chemoselectivity we will not study right now. When we will go for this oxidation reduction, redox reactions, then we shall be visiting this reaction, what is called chemoselectivity. Then after this, the third type of enantioselectivity, diastereoselectivity is there. So that all are covered under stereoselectivity. Okay, this is another kind of selectivity. What is called regioselectivity. Selectivity means formation of 1 isomer over other isomer. So that is called selectivity. Regio का मतलब है with respect to the region, with respect to the place. So what kind of place? it is going to affect for this reactions, so especially among E2. So that is covered under this topic, what is called regioselectivity. Okay. So for example, if we have 2-bromobutane, then this 2-bromobutane is attached where the bromine is attached to the second carbon. There are 2 alpha carbons. Sorry, there are 2 beta carbons for 2-bromobutane. And if we remove any one of the hydrogen, and it will lead to the 2 different products. Let us say 2-butene as well as 1-butene, along with the formation of methanol and bromide from methoxide ion and 2-bromobutane. Okay, I think you people know this very well, that if there are 2 beta hydrogens, then there can be formation of 2 different products. Let us say 2-butene and 1-butene. Okay. Then if so, out of this, 2-butene is the major product that has formed in 80%, but this 1-butene is a minor product because it has obtained only in this 20% yield. So the concentration of this product is 4 times than 1-butene. So why it is so that this concentration behavior is there? So this is can be studied with the help of popular rule, which is called Zaitsev rule. And this Zaitsev is nothing but in your maybe +1 or +2, you might have heard about this another rule called Zaitsev rule. So Zaitsev rule and Zaitsev rule both are same. It's not there is no difference in Zaitsev rule and this Zaitsev rule. This is just like a difference in German, the transliteration. When you speak something, although the meanings, although the spellings are different, but when you will be speaking, so the name is same. Okay, so that's why this rule is called Zaitsev rule, and it is from the name of the scientist who has given this, a German scientist who has given this rule. What is the rule? The rule is that the more substituted alkene product is obtained when a proton is removed from the beta carbon bonded to fewest hydrogens. That is the rule. We know that rules are made to break. So there are so many rules for the traffic. When you are driving a vehicle, you should wear the helmet, you should have your license, RCU, PUC, insurance, you should pay the road taxes, tolls and taxes, you should follow the green or red, yellow light signals. But we know how many of us follow these rules accurately, precisely and regularly. कभी wrong में हमें vehicle drive नहीं करना चाहिए, फिर भी wrong side पे हम drive करते हैं, although it is not good for our safety. So there are traffic rules are there, and if you break the rules, if you violate the rules, you will have to pay the fines. In terms of money, if you don't pay the fine, your vehicle will be fortified. तुम्हारो वाहन जब्त करी लेवामां आवशे, and if you don't do that, you will be behind the bar. So that is also something punishment, a kind of, if you don't follow the rules. So this is not the law. This is the rule. Rule of Zaitsev to determine the main product formation. What is that rule? That hydrogen will be, this product shall be formed when a proton is removed from a carbon which is attached to fewest hydrogens. In other words, we can call the most substituted alkene is the highly stable alkene. Likewise, in this case, Yeah, 3 alkyl. This is alkene with 3 alkyl substitutions. So that is more stable over 2 alkyl substituents over 1 alkyl substituent and containing alkene. And this alkene is further more substituted for further more stable than unsubstituted. So friends, this generally I wish to discuss with you people regarding your this reaction, elimination reaction where Zaitsev rule is taken. Now, why it is so that a more substituted alkene is more stable? There is a reason behind it. The reason is that whatever the transition state is formed with more stable alkene, that is more stable. The transition state with the less substituted alkene, less stable one. कि जब मोर सब्स्टिट्यूटेड alkene जैसे ये अपना है तो उसका जो हाइड्रोजन है ना, तो that will be inducing some positive charge over this carbon, and this positive charge is further attached with 3 kinds of more substituted olefins. So somehow kind of this hyperconjugation will be there. So because of this, more stable alkene is formed. Okay. Or this we can also explain based upon the hydrogenation. जो स्टेबल ज्यादा होता है उसकी रिएक्टिविटी हमेशा कम होती है, राइट? और जो ज्यादा रिएक्टिव होता है उसकी स्टेबिलिटी कम, ज्यादा रिएक्टिव होता है उसकी एनर्जी ज्यादा होती है और स्टेबिलिटी कम होती है. दिस इज दैट. जो ज्यादा स्टेबल होता है उसकी रिएक्टिविटी कम होती है. दिस इज आल्सो. And alkenes are majorly giving only one reaction, that is called hydrogenation. So heat of hydrogenation के base पे भी we can classify which alkene is more reactive, which alkene is less reactive. So you people are 30 students in the classroom, 31 people in this one. And I want to test who is the fastest runner from all of you. Then I can arrange a competition, a marathon or a competition of 100-meter running race. जो सबसे पहले दौड़ के वापस आ जाएगा, he will be declared the runner, the first rank. He will be awarded the first prize. दूसरा जो आएगा उसको second prize, तीसरा आएगा उसको third prize. So this way, I can arrange the competition and identify the fastest runner, including boys and girls from your class. Similarly, stability can also be identified. Reactivity can also be identified based upon your. So जैसे मैंने बोला कि rules are made to break. This is not the Zaitsev ने दिया वो law नहीं था. That was the rule. There are certain reactions which does not follow Zaitsev rule. Means कि Zaitsev ने तो ये बोला था कि जो more substituted alkene होगा वो सबसे ज्यादा stable होगा, right? But there are certain reactions in which less substituted alkenes are more stable. So let us visit those reactions. That is based upon the substrate. Such as this 4-chloro-5-methyl-hexene, which upon OH minus, this OH, there are 2 beta carbons. So there is a probability that hydrogen will be knocked out from this side and hydrogen will be knocked out from this side. ये हाइड्रोजन यहाँ से जाएगा तो इन दोनों कार्बन के बीच में डबल बॉन्ड बनेगा, तो उससे एक प्रोडक्ट. ये हाइड्रोजन यहाँ से जाएगा तो इन दोनों कार्बन के बीच में एक डबल बॉन्ड बनेगा, तो उससे दूसरा प्रोडक्ट. Okay. So we are having 2 products, but one of them is a conjugated diene. Means 2 double bonds are separated with the help of 1 single bond. So that is called conjugated diene. This is a diene which is called isolated dienes. Means 2 double bonds are separated with the help of more than 1 single bond. So it is called isolated diene. So conjugated products are more stable than the isolated dienes because of perfect orbital overlap of p orbitals. It's possible in conjugated bonds. बेंजीन में जो डबल बॉन्ड होते हैं वो conjugated डबल बॉन्ड ही है. That's why benzene is more stable. इसीलिए इस केस में जो मोर स्टेबल प्रोडक्ट है वो सबसे कम बना है, और जो ज्यादा स्टेबल प्रोडक्ट है वो मींस मोर सब्स्टिट्यूटेड एल्कीन इज दिस वन, क्योंकि उसमें एक दो तीन सब्स्टिट्यूशन है, फिर भी वो माइनर प्रोडक्ट है. इस केस में एक दो सब्स्टिट्यूशन ही है, हाइड्रोजन का नंबर पीछे है, बट स्टिल बिकॉज ऑफ कॉन्जुगेटेड डाई दिस प्रोडक्ट इज major one over the other isolated die. Here we have another product 2-bromo-3-methyl-1-phenyl butane. If we remove the OH minus, then एक इन दोनों के बीच में एक हाइड्रोजन जाके एक प्रोटॉन एक का प्रोडक्ट बन सकता है. यहाँ से एक दूसरा प्रोडक्ट हाइड्रोजन है वो निकल के दूसरा प्रोडक्ट बन सकता है. तो दोनों के केस में इफ वी सी, यहाँ पे जो बेंजीन के रिंग में ये जो है ना दैट इज कॉन्जुगेटेड. That's why this is a major product. This is a minor product. So this is very true that in this case, Zaitsev rule is not followed because there are more than somehow kind of substitutions. That if we have conjugated diene, if our double bond is conjugated with benzene ring, aromatic ring, then in that case, Zaitsev rule is not followed. ठीक है, जैसे आप ट्रैफिक में जा रहे हैं, आप रोड पे जा रहे हो रात के 12 बजे एंड देयर इज अ रेड लाइट ऑन and still you wait for the traffic signal, then it is of no use, because people used to say that at the 12 o'clock midnight traffic rules are not mandatory to follow, but if at the 12 or 12 o'clock of day or in the noon, if you don't follow the traffic rule, definitely you will be fine. हमारा घर ट्रैफिक नो मेमो आवी जशे if you don't follow the traffic rules. Okay, so my point is to say that there are certain rules which do not follow the Zaitsev rule, and also they may not obey depending upon the stericity of the base, right? Just like this is a tertiary butoxide, which is a bulky base. So bulky base may not be able to abstract the interior hydrogen like this, but rather than it will able to abstract the terminal hydrogen. तो इसीलिए वो ये प्रोडक्ट ज्यादा बनाएगा. Hoffman product बोलते हैं. Okay, so stericity of the base is also more important on this. Based on the leaving group is also there. If we have iodide, which is a easier leaving group, तब वो सबसे ज्यादा बनाएगा Zaitsev rule का product. But if we have this halogen, then it will not be able to form this Zaitsev product. 30% ही बना है. So less substituted product है वो 70% बना है. Okay, so these are the major things which are important. So we shall restrict ourselves up to this. In the coming slides, we shall be further discussing this even elimination reaction from this onwards. So let us stop up to this. We will resume our discussions on from this slides onwards. So thank you everyone. Thank you so much.